Hello everyone and welcome back to the Simple Speak English podcast, where we help you speak English naturally, confidently, and without fear. And today we are very excited to bring you a special long-form episode that is designed to help you learn English fast through simple daily practice that fits into your real life without stress, without complicated grammar rules, and without pressure, because we truly believe that the best way to learn English is through relaxed conversation, practical examples, and consistent small habits that you can repeat every single day.
Hello, dear listeners, and welcome again to Simple Speak English, and thank you so much for being here with us today, because if you are listening to this episode right now, that already means that you are serious about improving your English. And it also means that you are giving yourself a real opportunity to build confidence, to speak more naturally, and to finally stop feeling shy or afraid when you want to express yourself in English. And that is exactly what we are going to help you do in this episode step by step in a very simple, friendly, and practical way.
Today's episode is called Learn English Fast, Simple Daily Practice. And we chose this title very carefully because many people think that learning English fast means studying for many hours every day, memorizing long vocabulary lists, and feeling tired and frustrated all the time. But in reality, learning English fast means learning English smart, which means using small daily habits, natural listening, simple speaking practice, and real-life sentences that you can actually use in your daily conversations.
And in this episode, we are going to guide you through a complete daily practice routine that you can follow every day. Even if you are busy, even if you work long hours, even if you have family responsibilities, and even if you think that your English level is low right now, because everything we share today is designed for beginners and intermediate learners, and everything is easy to repeat, easy to remember, and easy to use in your real life.
Before we start the practical part, let us talk a little bit about why simple daily practice is much more powerful than studying very hard 1 or 2 days per week. Because many learners make the mistake of studying for 3 or 4 hours on one day and then doing nothing for the rest of the week, and they wonder why they do not improve. And the reason is that language learning is like building a habit in your brain, and habits grow best when you repeat small actions every single day.
That is absolutely true. And when you practice English a little bit every day, your brain starts to recognize patterns, your ears start to understand sounds more easily, and your mouth starts to feel more comfortable when you speak. And this happens naturally without you even thinking about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. And that is exactly how children learn their first language, which is why simple daily practice is the fastest and most natural way to improve your English.
So instead of thinking about learning English as something difficult, something stressful, or something that you have to force yourself to do, we want you to start thinking about English as something enjoyable, something useful, and something that becomes a normal part of your daily life, just like drinking coffee in the morning, checking your phone messages, or listening to music while you walk or drive.
And when English becomes part of your daily routine, you stop feeling afraid, you stop feeling shy, and you start feeling more relaxed and confident because you are not trying to be perfect, you are just trying to communicate, and communication is always more important than perfection.
Now let us introduce the simple daily practice routine that you can follow every day. And do not worry, because this routine is not long, it is not complicated, and it does not require any special materials, because you can do everything using your phone, your computer, or just your voice and your imagination.
This routine has 4 main parts, and each part is very simple and very practical, and you can complete the whole routine in about 20 to 30 minutes per day. And if you do this every day, you will be surprised how fast your English improves.
The 4 parts of our simple daily practice routine are listening, repeating, speaking, and reflecting. And we are going to explain each part in detail and give you real examples that you can copy and use in your daily life.
Let us start with the first part, which is listening, because listening is the foundation of speaking. And if you want to speak English naturally, You must first hear English naturally.
Listening practice does not mean listening to difficult academic lectures or news programs that you do not understand, because that only makes you feel frustrated, and frustration is the enemy of learning. So instead, you should listen to simple English content that is designed for learners, such as podcasts like Simple Speak English, beginner YouTube videos, or short conversations that use everyday language.
When you listen, you do not need to understand every word, and you do not need to stop the audio every time you hear something new, because your goal is not to translate everything into your native language, but to get used to the sounds, the rhythm, and the natural flow of English.
For example, you can listen to this podcast episode while you are driving, walking, cooking, or relaxing at home, and you can listen to the same episode many times because repetition helps your brain recognize patterns and remember words naturally.
And the more you listen, the easier it becomes to understand, and the easier it becomes to speak, because your brain starts to store English sounds and sentences, and later when you want to speak, your brain will use those stored patterns automatically.
The second part of our daily routine is repeating, and this is where you start using your mouth and your voice, because listening alone is not enough if you want to speak confidently.
Repeating means that you listen to a sentence and then you say the same sentence out loud, and you do not need to say it perfectly, and you do not need to worry about your accent, because the goal is not perfection, the goal is practice.
For example, you can pause this episode after each sentence or each short paragraph, and then you can repeat what you hear in your own voice, and this helps your mouth learn the movements, the sounds, and the rhythm of English.
Let us give you some example sentences that you can repeat right now or later when you practice.
Here is the first sentence. Today I am practicing English to feel more confident when I speak.
And here is the second sentence. I know that making mistakes is part of learning, and I am not afraid to try.
And here is the third sentence. Every day I practice a little bit, and my English becomes better and better.
You can repeat these sentences many times, and you can change some words to make them personal, such as changing today to tomorrow, or changing confident to comfortable, or changing a little bit to more and more.
The third part of our daily routine is speaking, and this is the most important part, because speaking is the skill that most learners are afraid of, and it is also the skill that improves the fastest when you practice it regularly.
Speaking practice does not mean giving long speeches or talking to strangers immediately, because that can feel scary, and we do not want you to feel scared. We want you to feel relaxed and confident.
Instead, speaking practice means talking to yourself in English about simple things in your daily life, such as what you are doing, what you are thinking, what you are feeling, or what you are planning to do later.
For example, in the morning you can say something like, "This morning I woke up early and I feel a little tired, but I am excited to practice my English today."
Or in the evening you can say something like, "Today I worked for many hours and now I am relaxing at home and listening to a podcast in English."
You can also talk about your plans, your dreams, your family, your hobbies, or anything that is important to you, because when you talk about things that matter to you, your motivation becomes stronger and your learning becomes more meaningful.
And do not worry if you do not know some words, because you can use simple words and simple sentences, and if you really need a word, you can look it up later. But during speaking practice, your main goal is to communicate, not to be perfect.
The fourth and final part of our daily routine is reflecting, and this part is very simple, but very powerful, because it helps you stay motivated and see your progress.
Reflecting means thinking about what you practiced today, what you learned, and how you felt, and you can do this in your mind, or you can write a few simple sentences in a notebook or on your phone.
For example, you can write something like, "Today I practiced listening to a podcast, and I repeated some sentences, and I talked about my day in English, and I feel proud of myself."
Or you can write something like, "Today I learned a new word, and I used it in a sentence, and I feel more confident than yesterday."
When you reflect every day, you start to see that you are improving. And this makes you feel more motivated to continue. And motivation is one of the most important factors in language learning.
Now let us move to some real-life English practice that you can use in your daily conversations. Because learning English fast is not about memorizing difficult words. It is about using simple sentences that you can actually say in real life.
We are going to give you some common daily situations and example sentences that you can practice and use, and you can repeat them, change them, and make them personal.
Situation number 1 is greeting someone.
You can say, "Hi, how are you doing today? I hope everything is going well for you."
Or you can say, "Hello, it is nice to see you again. How has your day been so far?"
Situation number 2 is talking about your day.
You can say, "Today was a busy day for me because I had a lot of work to do, but I am happy that I finished everything."
Or you can say, "My day was quite relaxing because I stayed at home, watched some videos, and practiced my English."
Situation number 3 is talking about your plans.
You can say, "Tomorrow I am planning to go for a walk, do some shopping, and practice my English in the evening."
Or you can say, "This weekend I want to relax, spend time with my family, and watch a movie in English."
Now let us talk about confidence, because confidence is the key to speaking English fluently, and without confidence, even the best grammar and vocabulary will not help you speak naturally.
Many learners are afraid of making mistakes, and they think that if they make a mistake, people will laugh at them or think that they are not intelligent. But this is not true, because everyone makes mistakes when they learn a new language, and mistakes are a normal and necessary part of the learning process.
When you make a mistake, it means that you are trying, and when you are trying, it means that you are learning, and learning always involves mistakes.
So instead of being afraid of mistakes, you should be proud of them, because each mistake teaches you something new, and each mistake brings you one step closer to fluency.
And remember that most people are friendly and patient when they hear someone learning English, and they appreciate your effort, and they want to understand you, not judge you.
Let us now talk about motivation and consistency, because learning English fast is not about talent, it is about consistency.
You do not need to be perfect, and you do not need to be the best student, but you do need to show up every day and practice a little bit.
Even on days when you feel tired, busy, or unmotivated, you can still do a small amount of practice, such as listening to a podcast for 5 minutes or repeating a few sentences.
And those small actions add up over time, and after a few weeks or a few months, you will notice a big difference in your English.
We are now coming to the end of today's episode, and we hope that you feel inspired, motivated, and confident to start your simple daily English practice routine.
Remember that learning English fast does not mean learning English perfectly. It means learning English consistently, naturally, and with confidence.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Simple Speak English podcast and share this episode with your friends, family, or anyone who wants to improve their English.
And do not forget our motto, no fear, just speak. Because the more you speak, the better you become.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you again in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone, and happy practicing.